He's really been wronged and is trying to get revenge.
Right, so you start as the bodyguard of the Empress, and you are framed for her murder. And at this point, you're going to take revenge and set things right and clear your name.
And it looks like now we're here, poised above some enemies, and calling up the blink ability.
Right,
which
blink
is like a little teleport.
And we're going to demonstrate a power called possession, where we can, in the game, you can possess bodies of animals and even human beings at high level.
Bodies of animals, like, I mean, this city looks like there would be no shortage of rats to possess.
So yes, there's a plague, so there are rats everywhere. And in this case, actually, we're possessing a fish.
A fish?
Yes, we're gonna show this in a minute. There we go.
I think it's safe to say that's a first that I've seen in a game, fish possession.
Right.
But now here we are
with the first fish possession game ever.
Right on the box quote. There you go. And so you're swimming your way in, presumably going to try to. Is that for? Oh, so you're not just possessing them with your mind and sort of. You
become the fish.
Your body is.
You magically fuse with the fish somehow.
So you can use it as transport and get
into.
It's
a vehicle.
A place where a dude really should not be. I mean, that looks like a lady's shower.
Well, you know, every mission has got its own identity. So here in this case, it's a bathhouse where you have to eliminate 2 members of parliament, 2 brothers. Here we're using a power to see through walls, and you can see the vision cone of the characters, which is very helpful for the stealth gameplay.
Absolutely. Now, folks, we are live here with our demo of Dishonored, so if you've got questions, ask them through GameSpot, over Twitter to the hashtag GameSpotE3, or in the chat on Twitch TV, and I'll do my best to relay those to Raphael here. You said you were targeting members of Parliament?
Right. There are 2 members of Parliament in this bathhouse, and they are randomly positioned. So every time you play, we have a set of possibilities where they could be. So you have to find where they are, either by overhearing conversations or reading here, like for example the register. You would find where they are, and so one of them in this case is in the hammam, at the bottom of the building.
Can you blink through a keyhole or through solid objects?
You cannot blink through a keyhole.
So you're gonna have to find another way around.
So you have to find another way around. So in this case here, we're approaching the first target, one of them, and you know there are multiple ways in every time. Like in this case, if you found the key, the master key to the place, you could use that key. Otherwise, there are other ways. Like here, we're going to show how we're going to steam to death this target.
Oh, you're going to lock him in there?
We're going to, yes.
And that lady's going to be collateral damage, huh?
Absolutely. We're sorry for that, but you know, sometimes it happens.
You know, when you're on the quest of vengeance, you're going to have to leave some bodies beneath you.
You know, the thing though is that there are always ways to eliminate the targets without killing them. So if your thing is really to play non-lethally, it is possible.
And that was a question from the aptly named Twitch user Stealth Shot. Can you really beat the game without killing anybody?
You can. It is very hard. It requires a lot of effort and dedication, but you can finish the game without killing a single being. Yes.
Is that now, when you say effort and dedication, is that just sort of mapping out the area, exploring every possible avenue?
Right. It requires overhearing a lot of conversation, digging into books, but it is possible. Initially, it was like almost an Easter egg. It was something we wanted it to be secret, but you know, people got really excited about it. So now we expose it more and more as a possibility. You know, and you'll get achievements for it. But you know, we expect that most people are going to play the more regular way, which is like a combination of sparing some of the targets and killing some of the targets.
And it involves a lot of stabbing in the face, as we saw in the gameplay trailer you guys
right, and then again, it's up to you. You know, some people like to sneak around and be discreet, and some other people are really like to go brutal. In this case here, we're possessing the target himself, and we're going to make it look like a suicide. In this, you know,
all of a sudden he just went out on the balcony and jumped. I don't know what happened.
And somehow he jumps.
Except you can't actually make him jump. You got to give him the ultimate push.
Well, you have to help him a little bit.
How very helpful.
Right.
So is this now an escape, or are we restarting to...
So here we restarted because the way we demo the game in this case is that we play this mission several times, and the first time was very stealthy, and then the second time is very brutal.
So no fish possession this time around?
This time no fish possession. It's always going to be using guns and severing heads, assassinating people.
User Valis Jobu wants to know if there are incentives in terms of extra gear or extra experience or anything like that for doing the stealth approach.
So doing the stealth approach, of course, mechanically is an advantage because you will aggregate more ammos but also the big benefit of playing stealth is that we track the number of innocents that you kill. So if you don't kill innocents, then you will reach the more positive ending, as opposed to the darker ending if you kill a lot of people.
And that's sort of fitting because if if your body is soaked in the spilled blood of hundreds of guards, you should receive the dark ending. Or,
that was the wind blast power.
There are bloodless ways to eliminate people, as we've seen. So you're doing a lot of climbing around on different surfaces. So platforming is a huge part of Dishonored.
Right. It's more like the freedom of exploring and feeling in a body where you can jump around, mantle, blink from rooftop to rooftop. It feels very physical, very good. It feels very good to do those things, as a fantasy.
Now some folks are wondering about some more mechanical elements. Crazy Jam is seeing the blue bar here. So red is presumably your health.
Right.
Blue is some sort of power that lets you use your abilities.
Right. The blue one is like the equivalent of mana in for magic and RPGs. And so you have to you can drink potions to restore your mana and your health.
Okay, so yeah, that'll be a potion refill.
It's a potion refill. Yeah. So basically you cannot cast those powers forever. You are limited, and so you have to choose the right time to do those.
That was a nasty little rat attack, by the way. I didn't want to let that go by without comment. You guys sort of working in animals in a number of ways to is that to just sort of flesh out the world, make it feel more like an alive city that you're moving through?
Right. I mean, it's all about the context. We chose the plague because it's a very interesting, dark context, and so therefore there were rats, and therefore we integrated the rats into the mechanics as well. You can possess them. You can even summon them.
Whoa!
That was something we call the Spring Razor. It's a nasty, sort of a mine.
Yeah, I'll say. And is this that was a bomb that required a little bit of arming, but now we're in full-on combat with blocking and counter-striking. You're not just sneaking up and stabbing people.
Right.
They will engage you, and you can, duke it out.
Right. At this point, like whenever you're being detected, then it turns into more of an action game where you have to use your powers in an aggressive way, or you can evade, and it's up to you again. But like blocking and counter-attacking. Sorry.
Do you have a preference yourself for the way you play through?
I think the way I like to play is that I like to take advantage of stealth because like you're very lethal when you sneak on people. You can kill them like we just saw in one attack, and that feels very powerful. But then, whenever I'm spotted, I also like that thrill of suddenly having to improvise and going like,
and
guns out, basically.
One of the interesting points you guys made in an interview with you and your co-director or co-founder of Arcane was that within the studio you have a bunch of developers who like to play different ways, and you'll sort of push and pull against each other, and let's make this more viable, now let's make this viable. How does that sort of what does that result in here for the end product?
Well, I think that's the point, is that our games rely on simulation a lot. It's not very much is scripted in there, and so the point of simulation is that it totally encourages different play styles. And some of our members are very, very much into sneaking and even ghosting the areas. Some others don't care so much for that, and all they want is kill people. So we have to check on all of them all the time, and making sure that everybody's happy.
That everyone's happy and able to wreak their own particular brand of havoc.
Yep.
Now this is one of the more visually striking enemies, these sort of patrol guards on really, really tall stilts.
Right.